What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation. Man, when I tell you we got to get into this, I have so many thoughts. But first, I want to play this clip. Now, I actually give Claudia Jordan credit for even putting the actual clip on her Instagram. But Jaguar Wright, we know that she has been coming out sharing all of these things, the dirty hidden secrets of alleged Hollywood scandals and all of this stuff, right? For some time now. And she did another sit down with Real Life Productions, their YouTube channel, where she's on the blue couch, okay? And she shared something. She shared a lot. I can't listen to all of what she sits down and says because, listen, Jaguar Wright to me is one of those people where it's like she is a good storyteller. And because she's a good storyteller, a lot of people will tune in, especially when the stories seem juicy. Because let's just be honest. Let's just be honest, guys. We know that lies will travel faster than the truth. And a lot of people, as long as the lies are not told about them, they will believe them faster than they will believe the truth. Because we, especially these days, we live in a society where we call right wrong and wrong right. And even, you know, if we don't like, even if we do like someone, but we don't know them, and the story sounds juicy enough, we will say, well, you know, that might be true versus saying, well, I don't know about that. But especially if it's someone that we don't like, you know what? I believe that. She seems like that type. Because I will say this. I know that a lot of people have said a lot of things about Claudia Jordan, especially when it comes to how many bodies she's allegedly taken down or has had taken her down or whatever. But because I don't know her like that, and to me, I felt like when she was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, which was ages ago at this point, she was on season 7. We're about to go into season 16. I believe that she didn't really get a fair chance, my personal opinion, because I just felt like immediately Portia and Nene were on her and did not like her. Like, I remember that scene when Portia and Nene met up for lunch or something like that. I remember it like yesterday because Portia was like, yeah, I think I'm going to get a meal and a salad, and I'm going to eat my entree first, and then I'm going to eat my salad because they say that helps it to digest faster. I remember this stuff, right? But Portia brought up Nene. Like, Portia brought up to Nene, Claudia. Like, just brings her up. She's like, you know, Claudia Jordan, you know anything about Claudia Jordan? And Nene rolls her eyes, and she's like, girl, the thirst is real. The thirst is real. And I was like, why are they already on this girl? And they didn't even have any scenes with her yet at that point. They were just already immediately on her because she was on the show, and Claudia at the time was working on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. And we know that Portia, she had some dealings with Ricky Smiley too, but it wasn't so much she was on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. She was working on Dish Nation. So Portia was trying to one up Claudia, and she was like, well, I'm on Dish Nation, you know, it's just a whole other show and a whole other check. She said it like that. And what she was basically saying is, I'm above Claudia, I make more money than Claudia. And there were scenes when Claudia was trying to engage with Portia, and Portia was shutting her down and didn't really want to have anything to do with her. It was already some tension there that I don't believe that Claudia brought to the show. And because they were bringing her the heat, then Claudia started responding. So Claudia, I feel she did not get a fair shake on the show. I'm talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know Claudia. I don't know anything about her personal life. And I didn't know much about her before then either, except for the fact that she was formerly on The Price is Right, and I believe Deal or No Deal. Okay? So with those things being said, it was just a lot of stuff being alleged about her being a thought and industry, bicycle, and all of this types of stuff. And I was like, well, dang, you know what I mean? But those are things that people were saying about her. I don't know those things to be true. And we all know the infamous back and forth where Nene told Claudia that your seed has left your body. Okay? And Claudia, she was giving it to Nene, and she wasn't going there with anything like that. She was talking about the hair, the looks, and then Nene, she really wasn't winning in that battle, if you will, so she had to go there and take it to the gutter. But I digress. Jaguar Wright, she did this sit down on the blue sofa with Real Life Productions, which I believe they pay her. That's my personal opinion. I don't know that to be true, but I believe that she's getting paid for her time. I don't believe that at this point, especially, it's like, what does she really have going on? So it's like, I'm not allowing you to get all of these views off of me without you paying me for my time. Because they know that, again, because Jaguar Wright is a great storyteller, hence, a storyteller is a storyteller. It doesn't equal truth teller. It's going to get them the views. It's going to get them the money from those views. So it's like, yeah, I'm not coming over there to sit down again without you paying me. She probably got paid the last time she was there too. So with all of those things being said, she said a lot of things that a lot of people think are true and some things that people don't believe. I am one of those people that I don't believe that everything that she says is the truth. I do believe that some of the things that she's saying, there may be some truth to it, especially when it comes to people that she has worked with in the past or known in the industry or know about in the industry because of when she used to be in it, but is she in it now? So when she initially came out the box and was saying a lot of these things, a lot of people was like, whoa, because she was just going there with no regrets, without any recalling, wasn't trying to sugarcoat anything, just saying flat out that the man who was singing I'm Dreaming, what was his name, Christopher Williams, was on his knees, okay, when she walked into a room. And a lot of people believe that because it's like, when is the last time you seen Christopher Williams or heard from Christopher Williams? And back when Jaguar was in the industry, it's possible because it was maybe around that time. It would be different if she said she walked in and saw somebody, I'm not going to name any names, but walked in and saw someone who was current on their knees on somebody else's knob currently, right? So with all of that being said, she said some things about Claudia that Claudia was just not really here for. So Claudia put the clip on her Instagram and she responded to it. So I want to go ahead and play this clip and then I'm going to share with you what Claudia had to say.
And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power of that moment. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, wouldn't you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote
the... Wow. One, I couldn't imagine what it would feel like to be someone like Claudia, who has referenced Jaguar before on TGIF. She's actually talked about some things and referenced Jaguar Wright to say, Jaguar Wright, she talked about that. So to be in that space and then to have this woman that you referenced before giving her credit about some things that she said and giving commentary on it, and then the next moment you hear your name being yelled out, what about Claudia Jordan? Oh my God. And listen, I'm not saying it's funny, but I'm just saying I can't imagine what that feels like. So I'm quite sure she was surprised, right? So Claudia, she responds and she says, more lies. When all you people learn? I have never been with, never dated, never slept with, never made out with, never been in any kind of intimate relationship or situationship with Diddy, Sean Combs, Sean John, Sean Connery, or any other Sean. 2 exclamation points. I met him at the 2009 BET Awards at rehearsal because I was a presenter and he performed that year. I merely took 2 playful photos with him backstage, sitting on a couch, not his lap, and took my behind right on out of there to the after parties with my bestie, Atta. I posted the photos on my MySpace page along with all the other celebs I took pics with, and woke up the next day to dozens of angry text messages from him because he was mad someone snatched pics from my MySpace album and sent them to @Media Takeout, and he blamed me. But at the time, I didn't even know what @Media Takeout page was, aka Fred. He knows. 58 text messages later, after a heated exchange where I did not back down, it was a done deal and squashed, and he never texted me and I never texted him ever again. So how the F was I ever his girl? I saw him another time in Vegas at Tao as part of a huge group of celebs that was all at the same party, feet away, but we didn't speak. And of course, I've been to a couple of his parties where we didn't even speak as hundreds of people were there, and I left early. At Jaguar Wright, you can't just say whatever you think so adamantly and loudly with no facts behind it. Your information on me is 100% incorrect. I don't know why I'm constantly throwing in every damn scandal. I'm sorry, it's not funny, but I'm sorry, it's not funny, but I'm just saying because this woman, like as of recently, oh my God, it's been a lot. So she's talking on it. Every damn scandal, and y'all have yet to provide not one piece of real evidence. Y'all can't possibly keep taking photos from award shows and parties where everyone is there and accessible and make these meaningless pictures a thing and into a whole conspiracy theory. Y'all heard it here first. It's all cap, and I'm tired of it. Jaguar, check your inbox. I hate that I have to keep defending myself and correcting y'all's lies, but yet here we are, and I've had enough of this. I'm not sure if this qualifies as defamation, but it definitely qualifies as a bold-faced lie. Hashtag fake news, hashtag alternative facts, hashtag all cap, hashtag at Chris Brown the lawyer, and then she has a bunch of caps emojis there. This is what I'm going to say to this. The people who are going to believe Claudia are going to believe Claudia. The people who are going to believe Jaguar are going to believe Jaguar. The people who are going to see this as entertainment are just going to see it as entertainment. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know. Like Trump said in his deposition when he was talking about, when you're a celebrity, you can pretty much do whatever you want to women. And he says, unfortunately or fortunately. But I digress. Now that Claudia is in the industry as well as also being pretty much a blogger at this point where she's talking about trending stories and trending celebrity stories and whatever, she's going to have to make a decision. She's going to have to make a decision that if you're going to be in this industry, you're going to have to know that things are going to be said about you that are not true, and you may not like it. But every time you come out here windmilling to defend yourself, which you have the right to do, or I'm not even going to speak like I'm speaking to her, it's not like she's listening to me. But every time she comes out here windmilling and defending herself, when someone says something about her that she says is a lie, those who already believe it, they're just going to believe it more because they're going to say, oh, you're trying to defend yourself too much. It must be true. It must be real, which is not always the case. I don't agree with that. But what I'm saying is those who already believe it, they're already going to just believe it even more because of how Jaguar is and her storytelling and how she shares these things. You know what I mean? where it just draws people in. But those who don't believe it are not going to believe it. And suing Jaguar Wright, I feel, is just going to be a waste of a lot of money and time for her. Because Jaguar, as far as I know, doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So unless Claudia Jordan is trying to sue her to get that pot that she pisses in, which she doesn't even have, you're wasting your money and your time and energy. Because it takes a lot of energy out of you when you're constantly trying to go after people in court, especially those that they don't have as much to lose as you do. That's why you rarely see companies and organizations suing people. Then you see people suing companies and organizations. I've said this over and over again. I've had former employees, not many, just a couple, that have stolen from my business and have stolen one, not many, another, a whole lot. And it hurts, right? Because I'm a human being that owns a business. I'm not a robot. And when you help people out and they do, deceitful, devious things like that, it hurts. And yeah, immediately you're like, I'm suing their ass. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But even from what they stole from me, they don't have anything to show for it. So me being the company and the entity, me suing them would be a waste of my money, my time, my resources, and my energy that I really don't care to waste on them because they're not worth it. I just release it and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let God deal with them. That's me. Not everybody feels that way. But my point is, I may not have an organization like Walmart or Target or Macy's or, some huge big brand, but I have a business. I have a company. And when you have big companies like that, you rarely see them suing people that have done things to them, but you all the time see people suing them. Because more likely than not, they're going to get something. If it was in some way they were wrong and they have good representation. They're, a lot of times they don't even make it to court. They wind up in mediation and they get a settlement, they get a check, and then, they have insurance to cover that stuff and they move on and they continue in business as usual. Claudia, at this point, being someone who is in the industry and is trying to grow to be more in the industry, as well as being on that side of being a blogger, talking about people, she's going to have to make a decision as to what she really wants to do. Is she going to just choose to continue to grow and be in this industry and let shit like that go? Or is she going to try to involve herself heavily with going after people that say things about her that she says are not true and sue them or whatever? And then she's wasting her time, her money, her effort, her resources, her energy on these people that she's not going to get anything from anyway, like Jaguar. Seriously. Jaguar is out here doing this storytelling stuff because it's gaining her money, more views on her. She, I believe, loves the attention. Loves it. Loves to have people speaking about her. So when she mentioned that, Claudia, she never talked about me before. Now she's referencing me now. It's like, Claudia, I just feel she should let it go. I really do. But I'll be honest with you guys. The few little things I've heard Jaguar Wright say here and there, some of the things I do believe are real. I agree with, I should say. And then other things, it's like, nah. It might be a funny story. It might be entertaining, but it's not real. And out of all of the people that she's talked about, the one that just made me sit and say, yeah, this girl, she's lost it. She definitely has some issues. When she talked about Tasha K and how Tasha K and her people were after her, found her at some motel she was staying at, had her luggage taken, had something happen to her car. I'm like, people believe this? Like, why? Why would people even believe this? It honestly was funny because it was like, this woman is out here saying that Tasha K and her people are after her. For what? First of all, I don't even think Tasha K was even thinking about her that heavily, right? Tasha K did one little interview with her. Tasha K called BS on a lot of things that she was saying even then. So even Tasha K was calling her on some of the BS and the lies back then. But because at the time, a lot of things that Jaguar was saying seemed to be the popular thing to believe, because it's talking about people that people already felt like had a lot of skeletons in their closet. They're like, yeah, I believe Jaguar. Yeah, I believe Jaguar. So at the time when Tasha K was calling her out on stuff, and because Tasha K was seen as the one that was less popular or unpopular, then people felt like Tasha K was being hard on Jaguar. They're, saying, oh, she's being hard on this woman that has mental health issues. Okay, but you're saying someone that has mental health issues is out here speaking the whole truth and nothing but the truth on everyone that she's out here talking about? Like, let's just think about that for a moment. So when she said that Tasha K was doing all of these things, or had all of these things done to her, with having her followed, having the people at the motel do something to her luggage, had them do something to her car, I was like, people really can't believe this. They really can't believe this. I thought it was comical, right? I never discussed it. I never talked about it, but I just thought it was appropriate to bring it up now in light of her doing another sit down on that same blue couch, that same blue sofa that she talked about Tasha K and others on some time ago. And now she's talking about others, and including Claudia Jordan. And now Claudia Jordan is out here saying, this is not true. This is all cap. I'm contacting my lawyer. This is defamation. Leave it alone. Because I just feel that Cardi B has really pushed people to this defamation ridiculous level with the courts, to just think that just because somebody's talking about them, everything is now a grounds for a defamation lawsuit. I've talked about this over and over again. For defamation to even really be legitimate, which I still stand on, that Cardi B's was not, because with defamation of character, it's not just supposed to be this person said something about me that was not true. It's also supposed to be, and because what this person said about me that wasn't true was done, this has affected my bottom line financially in all of these ways that I can prove. It can't just be, because listen, everybody would be in court. All of us at some point has had someone lie on us, but has it really affected you financially? That's what it's supposed to be about. Not, this person said these things about me, it hurt my feelings, and I was in therapy. I'm just saying, I hate to keep going back into that, but it just triggers me a little bit, because myself being a legal assistant of 12 years, yes, it was years ago, but yet still I stand on what I stand on. And I know there's a lot of YouTube lawyers out here, real ones that actually have a license, that still are able to practice, and some of them, they've just now made their careers to be YouTubers, and they're on YouTube more than they are in their law firms, if they ever had one. But I digress. A lot of them were out here on the side of Cardi B too, when it's like, you can tell that they're just on the bandwagon of what's popular versus wanting to be seen as someone that was the unpopular one by saying, well, I know Tasha K may not be the most popular person, but if we wanted to really look at defamation of character as it stands with the law and grounds for litigation, how did this, they didn't go there. So I digress. This isn't about Cardi B. I'm sorry. I just went off on a little bit of a tangent. But my point in all of this is that I believe that Claudia Jordan really needs to make a decision. If she's going to be doing TGIF and talking about people like the Jaguar Wrights, she's going to have to become comfortable with, at times, because she also is a public figure, that she's going to be talked about at times as well. And I know it doesn't feel good, but think about the people that she's talking about. She is now in that space of being a possibility of being talked about as well. And Liz Corkin, whatever her name is, the journalist, she talked about Claudia Jordan years ago. A lot of people didn't really know about her, but I talked about that when I said that I remember years ago as well, back when I was in the legal field. And every once in a while I would get on my computer. This was before the days of Facebook and Instagram and all of this other stuff. Google existed, but back in the day we had blogs, we had media takeout. We still do have it, as well as Sandra Rose. I don't go to Media Takeout anymore, but I do go to Sandra Rose. And back then, Sandra Rose talked about Claudia Jordan, Kathy White, Jay-Z. Those stories were back on the blog years ago. So people do have questions because she has been in pictures with this woman. And Liz, she more recently came out to speak about it again and how she wants to have Jay-Z investigated, as well as Claudia has talked about how it is that, yeah, a lot of people who are in the industry, they know a lot of things, but they don't speak for fear of safety. I talked about that as well also. So I can understand Claudia being pissed about it, as well as not wanting to have people calling her phone, ringing her doorbell, or coming at her when she's just trying to live her life, make money, live long, and prosper. I understand that. But I don't believe she should waste her time and money going after Jaguar Wright for what is said, because in a couple of days, there are going to be other things that are going to be talked about. And this is just going to be something that was said some days ago. And then it's going to be weeks and months and years past. And you just keep living your life, make your money, do what you're doing in your career, and forget about Jaguar. If people talk about it, they're going to talk about it, but people already are saying things about Claudia. You know what I mean? So just allow it to be another thing that's said. And even if, let's just say, Claudia did date Diddy, Sean Combs, or screw him at some point. I'm not saying that she did, but I'm just saying, what if it did happen? Well, they would be two consenting adults. That's not a crime. I mean, really, that's not a crime if she did, but she's saying that she didn't. So if she says she didn't, then I'll say that's what she said. And I don't really have a reason to believe she's lying about that. And honestly, I could care less if she did or if she didn't. But because of what is going on with him now and all of the allegations, I get it. It's not popular to say that, yeah, I dated him. We screwed around for a little bit, whatever. It was nothing. It was just a little, a little this and a little that, but nothing more. Now it's like, I never did anything with, and that, like I said, that may be the truth, but I'm just saying, even if she did, they would be two consenting adults. It wouldn't be a crime. So I don't even think that she should even be making a really big deal about this. She should have just left it alone and moved on, but it was her decision to address it, and she did. So I just wanted to talk about that briefly, guys. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.
Don't wanna see, don't wanna feel, hey, all that is left.